Hey, everybody. 5 days, 21 hours, 55 minutes, and 50 seconds until we go to space with Virgin Galactic and Sir Richard Branson. For those of us that are and have been investing in Virgin Galactic for quite some time now, congratulations. This is really, really good. I'm super excited to see what will happen here in the next coming days with the stock. Today it's Monday, July 5th. And so the stock market is currently closed for the holiday. It's going to be an interesting 4 days of trading up to this next weekend of of July 10th and 11th. And so I'm really curious how things are going to respond in the market. I mean, currently we are at a stock price of $44, about $45. And so upon aftermarket news, I believe last Thursday when they announced the July 11th launch, I mean, stuff went up quite a bit. I think actually 20 or 25%, if I remember correctly. And then it regressed back down um, the following the following day, that Friday. So I'm curious to see where things go. Now, back in February, we hit this all-time high here of nearly $60. It was phenomenal. And so right now we're like, oh my goodness, months later, we're getting super close to that mark, super close. And I'm curious how the stock will respond over the next few days. There was a little bit of a pullback and people were being a bit bearish in investing in this stock. I did see an article that popped up, and there's actually something really unique that happened over Thursday. And for some people, what I'm about to talk about, I want to try to explain to the best of my ability. New traders or people who don't trade at all may not have this understanding of what are called stock options. I'll try to break that down for us a little bit here, and give you some just like a high level view into what stock options are. I think, and we may talk about this here in a little bit. But for now, I just wanted to read this out that um, this last Thursday, there was an open volume of nearly 10,000 options out there. And then this 3,800, that's options that aren't being executed. That's called open interest. And so this is just like, this is huge. A lot of people probably think, what the heck does this even mean? What are options? What's the strike price? Let's talk about it a little bit here. So if you're a stock trader and you have, let's say, 100 shares, what's really cool is if you own those shares, you can find a certain date, a week out, maybe 2 weeks out, and don't pay attention to this chart right now. Just kind of bear with me in your mind. You can find a certain price. So let's say, for instance, right now, Virgin Galactic is at $45. Well, if in the next week or 2 weeks, I think the stock is going to go down a certain amount of money, what I would do is I would sell an option. You need 100 shares to make a contract to sell an option. And basically what you're saying is, hey, by this date, if the stock hits this price, I will guarantee a sell at this price. If it does not hit this price by this strike, or the strike price by that date, I get to keep the money that you pay me for that contract. Now, let's say, for example, about let's say expiring July 16th. Okay, this is the week after the launch. You can see here, if I think the stock is going to go down, what I could do is I could sell an option. Like, let's say I thought the flight was going to be terrible. And so what that would mean is likely the stock price would dip down below this 45 that's currently there. And so I could sell an option maybe for $45. All right, this would be pretty sketchy, by the way, in my opinion, because I don't think the flight's going to go bad. But let's say you thought it was going to fail miserably. What you could do is sell an option, 100 shares, that's one contract, for or by a multiple of $6.20 is right now what the average is. And what this means is you time this by 100. And so basically you can sell a contract for $620 saying, hey, by July 16th, if it hits this strike price of 45 or goes beyond it, I guarantee you I will sell you at the price, or sell this to you at the price of $45, those 100 shares, $45 a piece, if you pay me $620 now. Okay. Hopefully that's making some sense. There are some good YouTube videos out on this, but this is option trading is just like an extension of regular stock trading. And a lot of people do options trading as a way to make income. So in other words, this can work really well for you if like your bet on the option is executed in a way that you're hoping for. Sorry, my screen here, I'm zooming in and out like a madman. Anyway, so give me 1 second. I want to refresh this puppy. Cool. So it's a cool way to make some money. I've sold some options before and I've done well on it. I've also not done well on it. And some people lately are looking at options and they are trying to right now. These prices, by the way, for options are like incredibly high. They're incredibly high. It's ridiculous. And there's a lot of open interest out there. That just means a lot of people who are trying to sell, but there's no buyers. So it's an interesting time. That's a very high markup. $620 is what that would be if you're to think you can sell at the strike price, or it won't hit the strike price, rather. So a lot of that's maybe confusing for some people. What I recommend doing, honestly, stock options is a super cool way to make money on shares you already own. So without just tracking the price of your shares, I mean, what you could be doing if you're holding on to a bunch of shares for the long run and you're thinking, man, I would love to just make some extra cash off of this, you can have shares and then you could sell options on those shares. You're basically giving the opportunity for someone to buy them at a certain price by a certain expiration date. If it doesn't hit that date and that price, you get to keep the premium paid to you. So you're making income on what you own. It's really a cool thing. Now, there are some people out there that buy these options and they purchase them because they think the stock is actually going to go up in value. So they'll purchase one right now while people think it's going to go down. And then what happens is they hold on to that contract, guaranteeing a certain sell price. And so let's say it goes beyond that $45 that we were just looking at a while ago into like the stock is like $60. Well, guess what? You're in the money. You're so in the money. If you bought an option for a strike price of $45 and then all of a sudden the share price goes way beyond that, somebody's going to want to pay you a very nice premium so that they get the guaranteed price of $45, even if that stock was in the $60 range. That's what that allows you to do. And so they pay you a premium, they could execute the option, and then they can make the that marginal gain from the 45 to 60 mark. And that would they'd be able to keep that as income, or as a profit rather. And so you can pay a premium to get a guaranteed price. It's a pretty cool thing. So in other words, you don't even need to own the stock to buy an option. It's actually, you're buying an option. In this case, a call option it's an option to purchase the shares at a guaranteed price if it hits that price by the expiration date. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of confusing, a lot of words. Other people who already understand this, you're probably thinking, dude, we get it. Well, that's cool. Other people out there, guess what? They don't. So we got to help them. I mean, help me too. I want to understand all this much better. I always think we can learn way more. And so I don't experiment with anything outside of call options in terms of like puts, selling puts. I don't get into the weeds with that. I want to sell options, okay, on things I own. All right. And I don't want to have to buy something. I want the option to purchase it. Puts lock you in to actually having to come up with the money and buy the thing. So I'm like, no, thank you, man. If you don't want to risk it, get into options with calls rather. So anyway, enough of that. Some really fun stuff. I wanted to show you guys something that I think is kind of cool. A lot of people have been very interested in Reddit lately with like GameStop and all those different meme stocks. It's quite crazy out there. And one interesting thing about Reddit and Wall Street Bets that is they have a lot of different mentions, and it seems like a good amount of sway on people, especially these retail investors, on what they think about certain stocks and short sellers and all these different things. So one cool website that I found is called Swaggy Stocks. Check this out. It looks at the ticker sentiment across across Reddit, or specifically Wall Street Bets, and it displays the stock price and then also the negative and positive sentiment in and mentions in Wall Street Bets on a particular ticker symbol. Let's click on GameStop, for example. Okay. So you can see back here in, where are we at? Oh man, such a crazy high. So we can check the positive sentiment, the negative, and then how this kind of correlates with the overall price in the market. It's just kind of fun, seeing different data laid out on top of each other. I like doing this with space, for example, and you can see here a lot more mentions. So you have the stock price go up, and of course people start talking about it way more, and it goes down, and so on and so forth. Just kind of fun to play with here. So I definitely recommend checking out this website, Swaggy Stocks. It's pretty sweet. I haven't got to dig into all of it. Here we go. There's some different stuff in here to check out. It's kind of fun. So give that a look. I like that. Super cool. So, all right, guys. With all that said, I mean, you can kind of track here the different sentiments on the ticker symbols. And for people that don't know what ticker symbols are, it's basically just notation dictating like an abbreviation for a company on the stock market. So in this case, Virgin Galactic is SPCE. We just call it space. For those who are investing in Virgin Galactic, a lot of us just call it space. So I think that's such a cool ticker symbol. I want to know the story behind how that was obtained. I saw in an interview, Sir Richard Branson mentioned this ticker symbol and how it was kind of a crazy story how they got the name. I haven't heard that story yet. So if somebody knows about that, drop a link into the comments. I would love to hear the story and how we got that, because I've heard that it was actually difficult to get that name in unique circumstances there. So kind of cool. You can see still lately that GameStop is, man, just like still up there. And then you got some other ones like Alibaba, AMC that are up there being mentioned on Wall Street Bets. Definitely just kind of fun website, like I said, to check out, see this different data. It's very interesting. So I like this, kind of fun. All right. So back to the stock price. I'm excited to start talking about the chart here. When we get into our trading days, the next 4 trading days up to the flight, this could go a variety of different ways. Now, of course, I am being a little more bullish in my approach to this stock, where a lot of people are going to be betting against this stock as well. And so you got people from both ends, people betting for the demise and wanting to like get a profit off of like maybe short selling, doing a squeeze on this. I don't know. We'll see. It's a lot of open interest out there right now with these different options, different things going on. We may get certain news, maybe a pushback in timeline. Oh my goodness. If Virgin Galactic came out and said, hey, actually we're pushing out the date further, that would be catastrophic, I think, for the stock. It would dip hard. So there's just a lot hinging on the next 4 days and the execution of July 11th on that launch date and how well the flight goes, and then any information released post-flight. And so we may be looking at something where this stock goes exponential. Flight goes incredibly well, cool announcements take place, and what if we broke 60? That'd be phenomenal. And one thing I've learned, and some people, everybody has different strategies on stocks. The whole idea is you want to buy low and sell high, right? And so one thing I've typically realized with this stock that I've been just keeping in mind over the time I've been investing, every time there's good news, this puppy just goes up and then drops a fat percentage. And so I've been learning to sell on good news. However, that is kind of scary. It is scary because you think, oh man, if I get out right now, could it still go up? Yeah, possibly. Could it go down? Yeah, also possibly. So you got to just kind of figure out in your mind what you want to do. In the case of this last announcement here, I sold half of my shares at this higher price. Actually, I sold about $54. I think at the time I had an average share price of like $25. And so I just took a profit right then and there. And I thought, this is really good news. I talked to some friends, got some advice, and I was thinking, you know what? I don't think it would be necessarily bad right now to sell half of my shares, to just go ahead and get what I put into the market out and say, all right, this is good. And then sure enough, the price dropped. And I thought, well, what a good time to get back in at a lower price. So I went ahead and put more shares in, which is really convenient, keeping in mind that they have that July 11th launch date. And so that's just what I've done. I've done that. I've also watched from this high of 60. I was buying shares, man, up around here too. Are you kidding me? Because who knew? Who knew what was going to happen? We didn't know that launch dates would get pushed back and different things would change. And there's going to be a whole market pullback and people taking a ton of money out. And, so I actually just kept buying and buying and buying as we're going down, 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 down. And that way I could get even a larger return coming back up and out. So you got to figure out your strategy, what you want to do. And for a lot of people in this stock, they may be trying to swing trade. They may be trying to put money in right now, and they're looking 5 years ahead. I also think that's totally cool to do. I am in an interesting place right now with my investments. And I mean, if this goes exponential, I think, I may sell for the short term to take a profit and then wait for that guy to come back down. But who knows? Who knows? You just got to play by ear, pray about it. And we'll see what happens. But I think Virgin Galactic is at a really interesting place right now. And especially in terms of just space flight, it's going to be phenomenal. I think this whole experience, the flight going really well, I think it's going to be super cool. So y'all take care out there. We will come back to you with another video tomorrow on our first trading day back into the market this next week. Or this week, that is. Everybody take care. We'll see you later. Thanks for hanging out. Bye-bye.